All right, folks, welcome back to another market update. This is for August 2024, September 4th today. For those just tuning in, my name's Tom Moore. We're going to be going over all the different neighborhoods in Halifax and what their price points and activity really has been over the last over August and compare it to the month of July. So for those first tuning in, what you can do is along the bottom there's going to be a little sliding bar on YouTube that you can click to the relevant areas for you that are important depending on the neighborhood. So if you're looking in a certain area, or maybe you have a house in a certain area, you can check and see what the stats have kind of done for that month. Again, my contact information is here and there will be a meeting link below. So if you're thinking about making a move to Halifax or maybe thinking about selling your property, feel free to reach out. Be happy to set up a call with you, except for over the next basically 10 days. I am actually heading out to Hawaii tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn for my honeymoon. So I won't be doing too much there, but I'll still be kind of taking a peek at my emails every once in a while. So for this one, we're going to just go over Bedford slower for everybody, just to explain the stats. And then you can kind of skip along the bottom, depending on what it is you're looking for. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got kind of a little map, which is where we're actually pulling the data from. We've then got the total sales. So this is the overall sales in the area for August of 2024. Compared to last month, which is July in this case. So 44 in July, 37 in August. And again, as I often say, we've kind of reached that peak market in late spring, early summer. We're now on the decline in terms of activity. So this means less buyers, but also should also mean less sellers. And that will bottom out around basically December, early January, and then it will begin its climb once again into the spring. Days on market, we saw a bit of a drop there to 12 from 19. So this is how long it generally takes for a property to be sold. 4 days would be very, very fast. A month would be probably a little bit longer. 4 days would be a good indicator for a buyer's market, whereas a month would be a good indicator for, reverse. 4 days would be a good indicator for a seller's market. The longer the period would mean that it's a good indicator for a buyer's market. Showings per listing, this is how many families, groups, whatever it may be, are going through as measured on the lock boxes. So, sometimes you might get one group going in there twice, but overall, this is a pretty good indicator for what is going on. So 7.4 in August, 7.1 in July. New listings, very self-explanatory, 35 in August, 58 in July. And then the list price to sale price percentage. This is if a house was for sale for $100, it would have sold in August for $99.1. So that's a good indicator that it is, in fact, a seller's market. When we start towing below 96.5, we might be moving into a bit more of a buyer's market. And obviously that was compared to 98.7 in the month of July. Here we go. Now, when we move into the actual hard numbers here, we're looking at two different, types of product. We've got the single family, and then we've got condos. So single family, we saw a bit of a decrease there to 644,000. Price per square foot, we also, it pretty much stayed the same. Again, in a lot of these areas, this is just a general metric. Obviously, there's going to be some cheaper homes in Bedford and some more expensive homes in Bedford, but this gives you the neighborhood kind of average for what things are going for. Bedford is one of our premier bedroom communities, so it's going to have a bit of a higher price point than, say, somewhere like Eastern Passage or Spryfield. The condos, we saw a bit of an increase there from 440 essentially to 457.5, and the price per square foot went from 362 in July to 380 in August. Okay, Bridgewater. Bridgewater saw a slight drop in total sales to 13 from 15. Days on market, it's pretty quick at 7. Showings per listing, we saw at 3.5 in July, 4.2 in August. New listings, we're seeing 16 in the month of August, and the sale price to list price percentage is 98.5. So, pretty relatively competitive, right? There might have been a few that have multiple, few that didn't, or it was just everything was moving quick enough, or people weren't really looking for a steep discount on the product. And again, there's no real condos we're pulling from down there. So the average, the monthly comparison there for single families was $385,000, and the price per square foot was $229. Okay, Clayton Park and Rockingham, another very close bedroom community. Basically right on the Bedford or right off the Bedford highway, sandwiched in between the other highway there. Total sales, we saw it stay the same at 27. Days on market was also the same at 8. Showings per listing, we saw it at 7.6, and the new listings was 37. Sale price to list price percentage was 100%, stayed the same as the previous month. So obviously a bit of a seller's market there. Monthly comparison, we saw it 622,000, so a bit of an increase there. Price per square foot dropped from 314 to 290, and the condo monthly comparison was at 410, basically 410. It's now 426, whereas the price per square foot for condos went from 321 to 329. Cole Harbour, we saw 36 in July, 27 total sales in August. Days on market just dropped by 1 day to 7. Showings per listing also dropped by almost 2, from 9.8 to 8.1. And the new listings was 26 in July, 28 in August. So a little bit of an uptick there, which is, not following the traditional chain things, but people sell when they got to sell. Also, there might be a little bit more in terms of military moves that are occurring out there. Colby Village, which is kind of this area right here, can skew a little heavy military. And then obviously Eastern Passage, you got Shearwater Air Force Base right here. But then Eastern Passage is kind of down here. We'll be going over those numbers in a bit. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw it at 101%, up 1% from July. The monthly single family comparison, we saw it drop about $10,000 to $506,000, and the price per square foot went up $9 to $268. Dartmouth. So we're really only pulling from inside the ring road there and kind of right of Dartmouth crossing. All else is Burnside, the industrial park there. Total sales, we saw 51. Days on market was 8. Showings per listing went down 1.5 to 7. New listings was at 61. It's now at 67. And the sale price to list price percentage stayed pretty much the same at 100%. So still moving pretty quick there. Monthly comparison for the single family side of things, we saw it drop about 30 grand to 540,000. Price per square foot also dropped a bit to $271 per square foot. The condos, on the other hand, went up to 440,000, and the price per square foot stayed relatively the same at $408 a square foot. Downtown Halifax, only pulling condos here, just not enough single family data to really pull from. Total sales, we saw a drop from 9 to 5 in August. Days on market was 11. It's now at 14. Showings per listing, we saw it go from 3.7 to 3, and the new listings was the same at 11. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw it go from 99% to 98.7% in the month of August. Monthly comparison for condos, we saw it at 470, basically stayed the same at 467.5 in August, and the price per square foot had quite a bit of a drop off from $732 per square foot to $558. There might be, when it comes to condos, some of the newer product can have lower condo fees than some of the older product, just because the board hasn't had the time to either mess something up or they've proven their worth, right? You can tell pretty quick by looking at things online. Eastern Passage and Cow Bay. Eastern Passage is a traditional military neighborhood there. Total sales, we saw 17. Days on market was 5. It's now at 6. Showings per listing was 6.1. It's now at 6. And the new listings dropped by 3 from 21 to 18, where the sale price to list price percentage was 101.5%. So we're seeing a bit of a trend here in these military designated neighborhoods of slight over asking, right? You've got a lot of military members both moving, but you've also got people coming here from away, right? So there's a bit more demand in these areas this time of year. And then the Eastern Passage, Cow Bay, averages here for the single family were 466, and the price per square foot dropped about $10 to $269. Eastern Shore and Lawrencetown. So this is the large area kind of out past Cole Harbour that follows the shore up towards Cape Breton. Not super populous here, but some beautiful homes right on the ocean there. Total sales, we saw 14 in July, 8 in August. Days on market was 32. It's now at 10. And the showings per listing was only 3.1 in July. It dropped to 2.5 in August, whereas the new listings also had a drop off from 17 to 13. And the sale price to list price percentage went from 98.1 to 97.4. Again, this could be also considered a bit of a cottage country. So, in those early summer, late spring months, we can see a bit of an uptick in terms of buyers on the market in that area. The single family monthly comparison, we saw it drop from 500 to 430,000, and the price per square foot was at 248. It's now at 276. Okay, Enfield. So we saw total sales in Enfield go from 27 to 22. Days on market was 31. It's now 14. Showings per listing was 5.7. It's now 5.1. And the new listings, we saw it at 27 in July, 30 in August. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw it at 99.2 in July and 99.6 in August. So still pretty strong buyer's market there. Monthly comparison on the single family side of things is at basically 500,000, and the price per square foot was 254. It's now 282. For the total sales of Fall River, another bedroom community, could have some really beautiful homes there on the lakes and whatnot. Total sales was 17, dropped by 10 to 7. Days on market was 30. It's now at 8. Shows per listing, we saw it at 3.8 last month. It's now at 4.5 in August. So a little bit of an uptick there. And the new listings, we saw it at 11 last month. We're actually seeing an increase here to 15 in August. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw it at 98.7. It's now at 97.5%. Monthly comparison, we saw a pretty steep drop off from 742 to 675. Again, there could be some water frontage, or maybe just a nicer property overall, maybe something a little newer, whatever it might be. Price per square foot was 298. It's now 267. Hammonds, Plains, and Lucasville. So 28 total sales in the month of July, 23 in August. Days on market, we saw it at 50 last month, moving to 29. So a bit of a drop off there. Pretty long days on market we're seeing out in that neck of the woods currently. The showings per listing was 4.7 last month, out 3.8, and the new listing was 39 last month. It's 21 in the month of August. Sale price to list price percentage saw a little bit of a drop, basically 1% to 98.8%. Monthly comparison for the single families, bit of a higher price point out here generally, just because larger properties. Again, there's a lot of lakes around there too, which can boost property values as well. That was at 747 in July, 770 in August. Price per square foot, we saw it at 321. It's now at 304. North End Halifax, we saw 18 total sales in the month of August, 15 in July. Days on market, we saw it at 7. It was at 6. It's now at 7. So still pretty strong on the buying side of things there. Shows per listing, we saw 6.1. It's now at 4.5. And the new listings was 28. It's now 13. Sale price to list price percentage was just 100%. It dropped 0.6% to 99.4%. So we're still probably seeing some pretty significant competitive offer scenarios down there. Monthly comparison for the home side of things, or the single family side of things, saw 620,000 up from 575 in July, and the price per square foot stayed pretty much the same at 433. The condo side of things, we saw a drop of about 50K from 390 to 340, and the price per square foot also had a bit of a drop there, about $20 to 459 in August. Sackville and Beaverbank, we saw the total sales go from 61 to 54. Days on market was 6. It's now 8. Showings per listing was 8.7. It's 8.4, relatively the same. Quite a few showings out there, as we can see. For such a large area, we're pulling a lot of product in for this one. The new listings was 74, 76, still staying strong here in the month of August. And the sale price to list price percentage stayed the same at 100%. Single family monthly comparison saw a bit of an uptick there to 567, whereas the price per square foot also had basically a $10 increase to $279. Spryfield and Armdale, we saw total sales go from 22 in July to 27 in August. Days on market was 8 last month. It's now at 6, so very competitive there. Showings per listing, we saw at 6. It's now at 7.5, uptick in obviously the showings, the amount of people going through there. And the new listings was at 37. It's now at 35. Sale price to list price percentage was at 100%. It's now at 101.7%. Okay, for the monthly comparison, we saw 547 in August, a bit of a decrease there from July, and the price per square foot just went up about $7 to $306. Condos, however, had a increase from $385 to $394, and the price per square foot actually saw a decrease from $371 to $342. So the condos in Spryfield can vary. You can get some of these beautiful oceanfront condos down in Armdale. But you can also get some more affordable product also actually in Armdale, just inside, not on the water. South End Halifax, our wealthiest area we pulled the data from. We saw total sales of 6 days on market, 51. Again, these higher price points can tend to hang out a little longer. Obviously, in the month of July there, we saw it moving pretty quick at 8 days on market. The showings per listing was 5.2. It's now 4.4. New listings, we saw it at 9 in August. It was 14 in July. Sale price to list price percentage saw a little bit of a drop there from 99.7, obviously in reference to that 8 days on market, to 94.9 in August. So, you know, sometimes at those higher price points, depending on people's rush or willingness to move, they might be willing to drop the price a bit. But it's all obviously relative to the sellers and the individual situations that you're going to be looking at. So this is one of the lower overall price points in the South End that we've seen for single family stuff, dropping from 1.5 to 875. That's again one of the, I don't even know what properties would have driven that low, but there was a few actually that did sell that were quite cheap when looking at the neighborhood. The price per square foot went from 508 to 461, and the condo comparison was 497. It's now 292.5. Price per square foot was 492, and it's now at 500. Yeah, I mean, for the South End, that's obviously a pretty big hit there. 1.5 was very high, funny enough, and then here we're seeing it dip back below 900, which is also not common. So a couple of weird months there in the South End. But again, it all depends on who's shopping and who's selling. Total sales, we saw 16 in August, 15 in July. Days on market was 100. It's now 24 it was 24. It's now 100 in August. You know, that's obviously incredibly long. This is a real traditional cottage community. So as we move into the fall, probably, I mean, it's hard for me to predict here, but people usually start shopping for cottages kind of over, you know, late winter type deal when they're wanting to actually close on it and get it for the spring. Shows per listing, we saw 3.4 last month, 3 this month. New listings, we saw it at 37 last month, 27 in the month of August. And the sale price to list price percentage went from 93.8 to 95%. Monthly comparison, we saw it at 393,000. So there's obviously some product down there that's not as expensive as those oceanfront, you know, mansions. But this also includes some of those smaller towns that surround the South Shore, and that's where the bulk of these sales will likely be happening. Price per square foot, we saw it at 292. It's now 276. Sydney, Nova Scotia. This is kind of the main city center of Cape Breton Island. Total sales, we saw 23 in August. 4 days on market very fast. Showings per listing dropped from 8.4 to 4.6. So people were coming in there, gobbling them up. New listings, 42 in July, 36 in August. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw that 102% last month, 100% this month of August. And then the monthly comparison, just a drop of about 10,000 to 270,000, whereas the price per square foot also had a drop from 193 to 178. Tantallon and Hubley, total sales in August were 16, 56 days on market. That's quite a long time there, but it's matching that Hammonds Plains number, right, which is right next door there. Shows per listing, 4.1 in August or July, 4.2 in August. New listings, we saw it at 21. It's now at 12. Sale price to list price percentage, we saw it drop from 100% in July to 97.8% in August. Single family monthly comparison was at 678. It's now at 650 spot 9 or 650, 900. Price per square foot was 266. It's now 278. Timberlea and Beechville. Total sales, we saw 11 in July, 14 in August. Days on market was 5, which is obviously quite fast. And we saw a increase to 10. The showings per listing stayed relatively the same at 6.5, and the new listings went from 25 to 25, staying the same. Sale price to list price percentage still over asking, not as drastic as last month, went from 105 to 101%. Single family monthly comparison, steep climb there from 478 to 629.9, and the price per square foot was 304. It's now 300. Truro, hour away, divided highway, really a commuter town, I guess. Pretty big changes there over the last several years with the influx of new people moving to the province. Truro has kind of supplemented a bit of that. Whereas it was more uncommon for people back in the day to commute from Truro. It's becoming more common now. Total sales, we saw 13 in July, 10 in August. Days on market was 18. It's now 7. Showings per listing is 3.9 for August. New listings was 27, and the sale price to list price percentage went from 99.6 to 99.7. So staying still a pretty strong buyer's market there. Sorry, seller's market there. Monthly comparison, we saw it at 360,000 to 313,000 in August, and the price per square foot went from 207 to 190. West End Halifax dropped from 17 to 12 for total sales. Days on market was 6 in August, 18 in July. So pretty steep decrease there. Showings per listing was 9. It's now 9.6. New listing stayed the same at 13, and the sale price to list price percentage went up from 98.6 to 101.7%. Desirable neighborhood, obviously, here. Can have some more expensive product than the North End, although in recent years it has been getting a little bit closer. Single family, we saw 789 in July, 651 in August. Price per square foot went from 404 to 545 in August. Windsor, all right, we're down to our last one. I don't know if you consider it as, it's definitely not as large as Truro, but could be considered another commuter kind of town. Definitely smaller than Truro. Total sales was 24. Days on market went from 16 to 33 in August. And the showings per listing went from 3.2 in July to 4.3 in August. New listings went from 36 in July to 30 in August, and the sale price list price percentage ticked up about 1% to 98.3%. Whereas the monthly comparison for single families went from 353 to 420 in August, and the price per square foot dropped $3 to $250 per square foot. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this quick little market update here. Once again, I'm Tom Moore. I work as a realtor here in Halifax, and if you ever have any questions about moving to Halifax or purchasing, selling, whatever it may be, feel free to reach out. I'll be sure to get back to you. Other than that, have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. All right, folks. Bye.